People will tell you Ripple can freeze XRP whenever it likes, or print more of it. So I counted the machines. There are 155. Ripple runs 2. Those 155 keep one list, the XRP Ledger. If you own XRP, this is where it lives. If you don't, this is what everybody is arguing about. A list of who owns which XRP, and 106 million of them have already closed. Another one shut behind it before I finish that sentence. This is your XRP news desk. Before we're done, you'll know the exact count on both sides because I opened the list myself. The one thing Ripple cannot do is close one of them on its own. Ripple is a tenant in a building it does not own. The XRP Ledger's own manual says 80% of those machines have to agree before a single list can close. Every 4 seconds, forever. So here is the plainest sentence anybody has written about it, and the people who keep running it wrote it. No single central authority means there is nobody to phone. No head office, no manager, no switch anybody can reach over and throw. The XRP Ledger wrote that about itself. Decentralized is a long word on that page. Nobody is in charge of the short one. Like, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell, and hit the hype if you're enjoying me pull apart the XRP Ledger. Instead of one firm keeping the master copy of who owns what, every machine on that list keeps its own, and that page says all the copies count the same. Validators is simply their word for those machines, so nobody can quietly change a balance because there is no master copy to edit. And I'll show you exactly who is holding those copies because it is not who you would guess. A university in California keeps a full copy of that list. So does a university in Australia and one in Cyprus. Those are not crypto firms and nobody appointed them. They asked to join. The XRP Ledger is open to anybody who wants to set up a server and connect. That is the page's own wording, not mine. So the machines XRP is written on are largely strangers who volunteered, and Ripple, further down that same column, is 2 rows out of 155. That is a count anybody can do, and it ends an argument that has been running for years. Ripple can ask the same as everybody else. It cannot decide, and once a list is closed, it is welded shut. Each one carries a fingerprint of the list before it, so they hang together in a chain. To move a single number in anybody's favor, you would have to rewrite every list closed since. All 106 million of them across 155 machines, all at once, in public, inside of 4 seconds. Then do it again 4 seconds later and again for as long as the list keeps closing. That is not a company's promise. That is math somebody can check on a public page. So that is the first thing, and it is the one who keeps it. The second thing is what it costs to use. And this is where the XRP Ledger stops being a story and turns into a machine. I'll read you the real payment, start to finish. I clicked the next big one that went through, not any special one. Just under 5,000 XRP moved from one stranger to another. Not a test and not a demonstration. That was somebody's real money, and I have no idea who either of them was. It cost 1/100th of a single XRP, and the word beside it says success. No wire form, no 3 business days, no branch, no cutoff time, nobody to ask permission from. And that price is not a promotion somebody is running this month. It is written into the rules, and I'll show you the exact line it's written on. Destroyed means that fee stops existing. The XRP that paid for that payment was not collected, not banked, not handed to anybody. It came out of a total, and it is never coming back. And the manual says so in the definition of the field every payment has to carry. Nothing can skip it. That is the most bullish line in this whole document, and hardly anybody has read it out loud. There is no toll booth here. The toll gets burnt. Every payment leaves a little less XRP in the world than there was a second earlier. All day, all night, green market or red. So while everybody argues about what XRP is worth, the amount of XRP that exists only ever travels in one way, and it is not up. Quick poll for the comments. Does XRP end up better known for moving money or holding value? Let me know in the comments. Tap the like, subscribe, and notification bell while you're down there, which brings us to the third thing. Before anybody decides what the XRP Ledger really is, they should know what a seat on it costs, because nobody exists on that list for free, and what it charges is the strangest fee in finance. 1 XRP is what a seat on this list costs, and nobody collects it. It is a deposit the address itself has to hold, not a fee anybody pockets. This is the page that tells you how to get it back. Close the address down, and most of that 1 XRP comes back. The 0.2 XRP that does not come back is not collected by anybody either. It gets destroyed, exactly like the toll on every payment. Entry paid to nobody. Exit paid to nobody. It is the coin you put in a supermarket trolley, and no bank on earth has ever charged you like that. And the first words on that page matter as much as the number, the owner of the account. The seat belongs to whoever holds the address. So if you do not own XRP and it sits inside an app, the app holds the address and the app holds the seat, which is why nobody ever asked you for the 1 XRP. I am not telling anybody where to keep anything. That is what the XRP Ledger's own account rules say. And if XRP is sitting inside an app, it is worth knowing whose address it is actually sitting in, which leaves the last thing, and it is the one that changed my own mind. Who built this and what they kept? I'm going to name them. 3 men, and not one of them was a company. They had finished the whole thing before Ripple was formed. And that is the order almost everybody has backwards, including me, until this page put me straight. Ripple came afterwards to build on top of what they made. And the next line on the page is the one that matters most. At the time of its creation, there were 100 billion XRP, all of it on the first day. Of that, 80 billion was gifted to Ripple, and in 2017, Ripple locked 55 billion of its own pile behind a public timer anybody can read. So the whole pile was counted at the start. A huge slice of it sits on a clock out in the open, and back on that fee page, every single payment shaves another sliver off the total, which finally answers the question, what is the XRP Ledger? It is an open list of who owns what. There are 155 copies of it, 2 of them Ripple and 153 of them not, kept by universities and exchanges that do not answer to Ripple. It closes and welds itself shut about every 4 seconds, and it has done that 106 million times in a row, and it burns a little of its own money every time somebody uses it. It is not a company, it is not a promise, it is a machine that has run in public for over a decade, and anybody can check every word I just said on the pages I read out. If you own XRP, it is a line on that list, and now you know who keeps that line and what it costs to sit on it. If you don't own any, you now know more about the thing than most people do. Subscribe, because I keep taking this one apart page by page, and I do not skip the boring pages. You do not need a price forecast to feel good about that, and I'm not going to hand you one. The thing underneath XRP works. It is public, and it gets scarcer every single day that it runs. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, stack facts and not fear, and I'll see you in the next video.